Financial Wellness. Reach out to them for advice at 855-DON-GINO. And now back to your hosts, Don Getling and Gino Franti.
Thank you again for joining us on this fine Saturday. And, well, we're going to have to say sayonara soon. So pay attention to this last segment. You're going to be so glad you did. Because, again, we have Robert Schwartz with Premier College Guidance helping to explain what to look for in an independent college counselor. And remember, this is one of the biggest decisions you will ever have, or your child will have, or your grandchild will have, because everybody's involved in this decision. If it isn't you, it's somebody you know. Listen to this segment because this can help change someone's life, including yours or your child's. So we have, again, Robert Schwartz with Premier College Guidance. He's been on our show numerous times. You can find so much information by going to donandgino.com. And we go to our YouTube channel. We have 740 YouTube channels or videos there from the interviews, and a lot of them with Rob, and a lot of great information. So, Rob, why don't we dig in, and then we'll make sure they have your contact information because they need to communicate, at least get a consultation with you, I'm thinking, to just learn what they don't know.
Well, I give consultations away. They're free. I want families, even if they don't want to retain my services, that's okay. I'll give them an hour of my time. I'm glad to do it. I just want families to understand all the opportunities that are available to them and all the nonsense that they actually hear that's just sort of out floating in the community.
So you're just a good filter.
Sometimes, like you're making coffee, college information comes in, just the good stuff comes out.
Nice.
I want to double back.
Clever.
Gold star for myself.
Yeah.
I want to come back to something Don said a moment ago, where he said this could be the most important or most valuable decision that you make. Other than purchasing a home, there won't be one that costs more.
Well, and let's put it this way. There won't be one that has as much value because you're actually shaping the future of your children. It's probably more important than home ownership to that regard.
And you guys now have, Trevor on your team when it has to do with the financing aspects of it, which is imperative, but also the direction you give. You've shared many experiences where you've helped students find even opportunities they didn't even know about. I know kind of like my adopted niece, she was the sharpest in her class, could have gone anywhere, no doubt, but she chose for one, the experience, and two, why not? She's going to Iowa for free. I saw it, 2 cents. It's going to cost her 2 cents, and most wouldn't take the time. Her mom basically does what you do and changed her whole life, and she's loving it.
And then you also have that idea of, well, now that I have this bachelor's degree and I didn't have to pay any money for it, I have a well to pull from if I want to go to graduate school, law school, medical school, dental school.
Good
and I don't have to
use
freak
all your
out.
resources.
Exactly, Gino. And when you start thinking about law school is about $150,000 to $160,000, medical school $200,000 to $250,000, you better have a reserve to go to, or else.
Well, then again, you don't need to always have that huge debt just to say you went to college. I mean, we see it all the time. We're doing home loans.
My God,
you don't get them just deferred forever anymore. I mean, you have to qualify with these debts, and we have some people that have $200,000 to $400,000 worth of debt and no longer can buy a house.
And let's talk about one more thing, that in the past, those debts were financed by Sallie Mae at 2.99%. Now these loans, I'm seeing them 6.7, 7.2, 8%. You're talking about college. Not only is the price of college rising, but just like with a home, the cost of financing is more expensive, and interest rate is more expensive than the actual number.
Home line.
Yeah, so we talk about this all the time. So the fact that interest rates in the student loan market have doubled with the removal of Sallie Mae loans and with the removal of the ability to bankrupt on them, I mean, you've got some issues there.
Yeah, I mean, Senator Warren said something on the Jon Stewart show a few weeks ago that just made my blood boil. The federal government set the mark between 6.5 and 6.8% with the goal of generating revenue for the federal government of $6.6 billion.
Wonder where that's coming from. Your pockets. So, Rob, let's go in. We only have so many minutes, and you have so much great information here. Let's go into what someone should look for in an independent college counselor.
There are a lot of different things. I've got a list together. As you guys know, I always try to bring in a list of some sort. Well, today it's what to look for when you're shopping for an independent college counselor. Maybe I'm not the right fit. Maybe I don't have the right information, but someone out there, you might be shopping. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. So do they offer the following? One, I will always tell you, do they get invited by neighboring schools to speak? If they don't, it probably means they're not as trustworthy as they're telling you they are.
Please hear that. Repeat that one more time.
If your
Because it's more imperative than a lot of you think out there.
Agreed. If your counselor isn't getting invited to speak at schools, that's probably a good indicator that they're not trusted within that community.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big
Okay,
one.
I hope you heard that. All right, moving on.
Do they have a college counseling certification or an MA in counseling? You'll find that there's a lot of people out there who it's very easy just to hang a shingle and say, yeah, sure, I had a kid go to Yale, so I'm now a college counselor. Not so fast, Lone Star. That's not how it works.
Right.
So make sure that you're working with someone who has the proper certifications and, frankly, experience. Are they members of the Regional or National Association of College Admission Counselors? Do they work with and get trained by fellow counselors? Very, very important. I can tell you, I go to counseling events every single year, and I learn new things every single year. How selective is that counselor? Sometimes they'll just take anyone. They're looking to cash a check. There has to be a compelling reason why that counselor can help your family, and they have to be able to demonstrate that when they meet with you. You mentioned, do they offer a consultation earlier? That's a really, really good thing. If you're not willing as a counselor to give some of your knowledge and time for free, what kind of a human being are you? How moral are you? Are you really looking out for that counseling student, or are you looking out for that counseling business?
That's a good point, because I know in our line of work, doing home loans, I've never and never will get paid before doing a loan. It's always the consultation first.
Yeah, you either
and
get
if they like what we have to say, then they hire us. It's the same thing in your business.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's okay. It's kind of got stolen from me now. You guys just left me blank. It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
Take advantage of that.
Yeah,
Write that down.
Lisa, mark that down. Gino was speechless on Saturday.
For 8 seconds.
Yes.
Are they price competitive for your needs? Now, just because they're inexpensive doesn't mean they're good, and just because they are expensive doesn't mean they're good. You need to find that, one, you have the services you are getting that are to meet your needs of your family, and you can afford them. As an example, I'm really pleased that you mentioned my partner, Trevor Mizrahi, and that he handles all the financial pieces of the puzzle. That's the part that I think has become more important, not less important over the years. That I can help your child find the college of their dreams is great, but there's a lot of good colleges out there. How do you afford it is becoming a much more difficult question, and that's where Trevor and the rest of our team come in. We take care of all those pieces. How do you fill out the FAFSA and the CSS profile the right way? What investment should we be looking at that are going to be win-win-win opportunities for us to lower our expected family contribution, but keep more money in our retirement plans that the colleges don't have access to? These are all things that we can do for you, and the beauty is our same prices that we would charge, frankly, when I was at a different firm, that I would just charge for counseling, you're essentially getting all those same services and all the financial services for the exact same price I used to charge 5 years ago. Nice.
Full fulfillment. I mean, what's nice is you can help the child figure out how to finance it, find the right thing, find the right college, but also how to get into that college. There's key points. I mean, you're an expert at the testing, expert in how that essay should work. All those little aspects that make the difference of whether you can, one, get into the college you want, or two, is that the college you really want? I love that you always ask that question.
So I'm going to wrap this up with a bow, right? So the way my perception is this is a private versus public discussion, right? So if you're comfortable with being serviced by someone in the public sector, which you're very gracious enough to say that they do a fine job, personally, I need a little more personal attention.
No
I
doubt.
want the personal touch. I want the personal expertise. I want someone who travels the country as a speaker. And ultimately what you're looking at is you're looking at private versus public. So if you're someone who likes private because of the level of accountability, the level of training, you don't have a job to go to at 8 o'clock in the morning. So in my opinion, the private sector has to try harder. They have to be better. They have to work harder. They have to study more. They have to show that they are worth coming to, and I think that's what really makes the private sector stick out.
I got to make Gold Stars rain.
Yes.
Gino Franti, Gold
Yes.
Star champion.
It's hard to compete. All right, so why don't we wrap this up with giving them your contact information so that they can reach out to you for at least a consultation, but great information and a great resource.
First, I'll give you a phone number, 818-359-3255. 3779. It rings in my pocket. Call me anytime. If I don't answer, it means I'm either with family or I'm with families, helping them come up with the conclusions that they need to come up to find the right school and the right financial fit for them. If email is better, it's my first name, Rob, R-O-B, at premiercollegeguide.com. And lastly, for those of you who want some free information above and beyond all that stuff, as Don said, I actually shoot a show called Ready, Set, College. Jump onto YouTube, type in Ready, Set, College. We have a season and a half worth of 30-minute shows on all sorts of great topics and great college guests from all over the country who have been in the show. Free information. Enjoy it. Use it in good health.
All right, check out Ready, Set, College. Check out Rob Schwartz with Premier College Guidance. You'll be glad you did. Rob, as always, thank you for bringing great value to our show.
Guys, a pleasure as always.
And we thank all of you for joining us every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on AM 1220 KHES. Check us out at donandgino.com and also our national blog at nrecafe.com. Have a great weekend and be good humans.